What up? What up? What's going on, guys? This is Late Night Live, episode 14. And we got the whole gang back tonight. We got Ace of Jacks, Media Grounds, Chris. As always, how you
Hello.
doing, my friend?
Good. Good to be back.
Good. We got Dathan, 8-bit gaming legend, back from Washington, no longer in a hotel. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing well. Doing well. Glad to be home.
Excellent. And we got the man, Eric. Thank you for joining us again, my
Hello,
friend.
friends. Yeah, good to see you.
I thought it was a pretty kind of slow week at first, but things started to pick up, and some interesting topics I thought came up. Um, I wanted to go over. I played the Stellar Blade demo,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll give you guys my thoughts on that. Of course, we had April Fools, and there was some things that were kind of funny, tongue in cheek, and then there were things that kind of pissed me off. and then Chris, I know you were playing. You played Alone in the Dark, and you can talk
Yep.
about that. Why don't you just start with that? How you beat that last week?
Yeah, it's a 6-hour game. It technically is. You get to choose two different characters, and they kind of throughout the story, they kind of meet up at times. So I'm sure if I pick the other character, there's a diverging story that goes with that one. It's supposed to be a reimagining of the first three games in the series. Apparently, I've never played the original ones. But it does have issues. Like when it came to the boss fights in the game, I constantly got stuck in boxes and couldn't move. So there were some quality control issues that they probably had. It's a cheaper game than most of these new ones they've put out. And a lot of the puzzles in the game are in your face. Like all the clues are there. And so there were some of them I'm looking at them like, oh, this is so difficult. And then it's like, wait, no, it's not. It's like right there in my face to the point where you're like expecting there to be some difficulty to the puzzles and solving them. And it's not really. So it was a fun game. 6 hours, $40 wasn't too
It was a
bad.
fun game, but you didn't find the puzzles that satisfying.
No, the puzzles really it's one of those that's clearly designed for younger kids to like go through. Because I mean, even the horror aspects of the game, I was like, yeah, this really isn't scary. It felt more like I was playing a noir style game, trying to solve things. And then of
Question:
course,
scariest game that each of you have ever played in your entire life? Eric, go first.
I was just thinking about that yesterday. Scariest. I don't know about overall game, but scariest level. Thief, Deadly Shadows, The Cradle, or Robbing the Cradle. It's called sometimes. Terrifying. The sound design alone in that game, at that level, terrifying. I still have nightmares about it. It's awesome. I don't want to spoil anything, but it's awesome.
it's Alien Isolation for me.
I was gonna pick that.
Okay, that's a good one. Good one.
I had my watch on, monitoring my heart at the time, started playing it. It's my resting heart rate's at like 90, which isn't too bad. But I started getting into the aliens areas, and I spiked at like 220 at one point, and I was just kind of like, yeah, I don't know if I can play this game.
No, I totally second Alien Isolation. I was also thinking maybe Dead Space for me too, but Alien Isolation. Play that with I played that first time with the lights off in my living room. It was like midnight, and that brings you back to that original movie, and that alien is generally just it's out to get you, and wow, I was like, that is an incredible game, and it will scare you seriously. if you're not scared with that game, I don't know. That is the best Alien game, bar none, for me right now. But yeah, super scary.
Yeah, for me, it would, well, if for the older me, the now me, it would
Mhm.
probably, I think I touched up on it, would be Resident Evil in VR, because
Mm.
I think I made it through just a few minutes and then I was like, nah, I'm done. I'm tapping out. But the old me, the younger me, was, this is going to be kind of weird. It was Friday the 13th for NES.
Yeah, I was gonna
And the
say.
reason,
Oh,
the
okay.
reason
Yeah.
why is because it was, there were two aspects to it. So the side scroller and the screen just stops. And
Mhm.
that's when you know Jason is coming.
Yeah.
Or
There's Jason right here. Hey, Jason.
or
What's going on,
when
man?
you're in the cabins and it says Jason's in there and you don't know which room he's in, which spot, and
Mhm.
it just
Mhm.
pops up. So as a
Mhm.
kid, that was absolutely terrifying. So those would be my scariest games going through.
Titus 0203 RE2 remake got me a few times first playthrough. Yeah, that's a really
So
good
I
one
think
too.
I know who Titus is. I think I know that guy.
Okay.
But carry on. That was a side comment on there. I just had to, because I was gonna forget.
Is it morning
Yeah.
where you are, Jason? I'm sorry. Thank you for staying up with us. Eric, did you say your
Yeah.
scariest game?
Yeah. Thief, Deadly
Okay, Thief.
Shadows, the
Right.
Cradle.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, good question. Eric, did you play any games last night or last week? Excuse me.
I haven't been able to play all that much. We're my brother and I are having a big party for my mom tomorrow, and we've been
Nice.
busy with that. But I did do a few levels of Darkest Dungeon that are not the Darkest Dungeon, trying to level up some newer recruits so that I can send them into the grinder and hopefully beat that game once and for all. But I'm still plugging
It's
away
all
at
good.
that.
So it's all good. We'll
Yeah.
keep checking up on you. Dathan, did you get to play any games last week?
I did. I finally finished Spider-Man 2 on the PS5.
Nice.
Nice.
Finally, not New Game Plus, but just the main story.
Mm-hmm.
Played some Wrestle Quest on Steam Deck. It's because WrestleMania weekends this weekend, so I always try to get some
Oh, is that
some wrestling game in there at some point. I was too lazy to hook up the Nintendo 64 to hit up WrestleMania No Mercy, or WrestleMania 2000 No Mercy. And then this weekend I'm probably gonna start playing Prince of Persia, because I haven't unwrapped that yet. It's still in the shrink wrap. So
Cool.
that's my gaming for the weekend, for the week.
Did you think Spider-Man 2 was a good game?
I think it was good. I think they started the game out pretty much with like they peaked in the first 25 minutes of the game, with the battle with the Sandman at the beginning. Spoiler alert, sorry. But it was okay. It was good.
Okay.
Comparing it to if it was better than the first one, I think they're about equal. I think.
I don't know. I think Spider-Man 2 is better just because of Venom and the black suit for me.
Yeah.
But this is an exclusive, right? This is what Sony's pinning their hopes and dreams on, right?
Yes.
It should be unequivocally awesome for that. You would imagine, right?
Yeah.
Didn't you get the statue too?
I did.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I love that game.
Well, and I mean,
Right.
if you talk to most of the like heavy Sony fanboys, Spider-Man 2 was the game of the year.
Mm-hmm.
And so when that wasn't the game that was awarded game of the year, you know, everybody was up in arms. That was like, yeah, Spider-Man 2 is the best game made. And so I still haven't played it. We've got it here. I need
You're
to play it.
crazy. But I will say, last year there was amazing game of the year contenders for sure.
Well, there's
around the board.
There's been such a influx of games in the last couple of years that it's hard to keep up on everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that was kind of Alone in the Dark made me realize I need to go back to uh, some of the more story driven like short games to play and actually beat them, because I'm
Mhm.
playing too many of these survival games that really don't have an end to them. They're
Yeah.
just there to play.
Mhm.
And so I need to kind of scale back what I do. And
Yeah,
actually,
I like those 10-hour games that have a beginning, middle, and end, and then you can feel
Mhm.
good about beating it and move on.
yeah.
A Short Walk, I think, was one that I played recently. That was a lot of fun. But yeah, those are my kind of games.
I think
Well,
you can vary it because you need. I like also playing mindless games like beat 'em ups. Just if you just want to play just for fun and just all of this is for fun, but just to kind of lose your mind and don't worry about things, do that. Then there's like that kind of shorter game, and then there's the game that you just like you can never beat, like your
Like
dungeon
Darkest
game.
Dungeon.
Or, yeah, it's like you just keep tackling it, and
Yeah,
we'll
120
get to it
hours.
eventually, and then you feel really good when you finally beat it. So
Yeah. You're right though. Yeah, the variety of games is nice, but I do I think lean heavier on like the short 10-hour-ish games.
yeah, and arcade games are perfect for that too. Like
Mhm.
the ones I've got here, it's like, yeah, I just want to play them for 5-10 minutes.
yeah.
That's sometimes that's all you need.
Play some Mistara, cast sticks to snakes. It's good. It's all good.
Okay.
Well, and
Uh,
I'm gonna pick up and play Will Smith's blockbuster game Undawn. You know, the one that nobody heard about, and
Yeah.
because I found it and
Nice.
it's free to play. So I'm like,
So
well,
it's real. It's an actual game. It's
it's an actual game.
Okay.
And the it's a model of Will Smith, but I think they got a white guy to voice him. So they didn't even get Will Smith to like voice Will Smith.
Wow.
what is this world coming to?
But if the first meeting of him isn't him slapping me as a character, I'm gonna be kind of disappointed.
That'd be funny if it was Chris Rock,
Yeah.
but no, maybe that's too soon. I've been playing a lot of MLB The Show still. I've been grinding that game in Diamond Dynasty. If you guys ever played that, trying to build up my team. I did play some Yakuza Infinite Wealth on Monday, and then Wednesday I beat the Stellar Blade demo. And I know we've been joking about this game a little bit because like the character, like she's like this sexy girl, and there's some cleavage and that kind of good physics for you, but but overall, like though, like take that out of it, and I'm sure people are gonna be up in arms about that. I can already see it happening, but it's a really good game.
It's good.
It kind of reminds me a little bit of Gears of War, which is weird to say. Like I wasn't expecting that. Um, there's a little bit of God of War in it. Like I just feel like it's that you're that standalone character, and then you're it's got that RPG kind of elements where you get like new things that you can do with your character, and that reminds me exactly of like God of War Ragnarok. But the aliens, the bad guys that you fight, seems like they're right out of God of War, or not God of War, Gears of War, and the graphics are really good. I feel it's got to be at least 60 frames per second. It plays really smooth. The story is completely crazy. So you're this girl fighter, and you land on, I think it's Earth, and you're trying to your whole squad dies around you, and you're like this fighter. It makes no sense, but just go with it. And then you're just going through, and these aliens start attacking you. You got to figure out how to beat them, and the boss of the first level is a challenge. I definitely took me at least 10 minutes to figure out how I wanted to attack him, because you could do multiple things. There's like big like oil drums you could have him run into. I eventually just had to go up to him and just start parrying, learning his moves. When he tries to attack you, you got to parry, and then you swing back at him. And eventually you get to the point where you do the final move on him, and very satisfying. So I think I'm gonna have to pick this one up. It's gonna be later this month, I believe. So yeah.
It's good. It's good to hear that it's not just eye candy. You know, that it's a fun game, and the way that you were
Yeah.
describing like the strategies you're using to beat like bosses were the way you were saying it reminded me of playing something like Metroid Dread, where you have to figure out what weapons to use on the enemies,
Right.
and that was, I think, some of the most compelling gameplay of Metroid was figuring out how to beat the bosses. That's what's the thing that was fun about it for me.
Yeah, no,
And
I like it when there's more than one way to beat
yeah,
a game,
yeah.
and they give you that option.
And the just eye candy game, you know, the one that springs to mind for me is what is it, Dead or Alive Extreme Beach Volleyball. Like
Mm.
those games have run their course 20 years ago. Like, okay, it was interesting and kind of fun the first time you saw it, but dude, it's been 20 years. You can't just be eye candy anymore. Like make a fun game, and if you want to put interesting things to look at, that's cool too, but the game has to be good.
Well, the other one is Near Automata. Came out, I don't know, 5 years ago, but it had the same. When it first was announced and shown off, there was the same reaction of, "Oh, this is just a game eye candy and everything." The creator of that one, the guy is, he's out there. Nobody's ever seen his face because he wears a mask every time he shows up in public.
Sure.
Um,
The MF Doom of games.
but it was an amazing game, and the guy who wrote the music for that one is also doing the music for Stellar Blade.
The music for Stellar Blade, it's very anime, and when you go to your save points, they call them camps or campgrounds, I guess. You can change the music. So there's like a jukebox there, and you can change to the next track. But it's all like weird anime, which I'm not into, but I get some people are. But so there's that element. So there's like a Japanese kind of style with it too, that some people are going to be really into. But um, no, I think this game might be worth checking out. So yeah, there's the demo is free on PlayStation Network, so you might as well pick it up. I love when games, I've said this before, put out a demo weeks before the game comes out, so it actually gives us time to play it, and I don't have to worry about watching a review on IGN and figuring out if I can trust them or not or whatever. Like, I've actually played the first level of the game. Like, I want to keep playing. So please, I love it when developers do that, and it makes me have confidence in your company and your brand. And so thank you for them, and I wish Xbox would do more of that kind of stuff, and a lot of other companies I think need to do more of that kind of stuff. Nintendo seems like they do a good job with demos, like they did the Princess Peach demo, and they did the Mario versus Donkey Kong demo, I believe.
Yep.
And so there's no reason for them not to either. Just put it out there and get your kids hooked on it.
Well, and the fact that demo is going to transfer over to the
Yeah,
actual
exactly.
game.
Yeah.
So if you beat the demo, then it will just transfer over that,
Oh,
however far you got.
I will say that Final Fantasy VII demo, it's deceiving. Like, you beat that demo and it's supposed to carry over, but then you go to a completely different part of the demo, or when you buy the game and you start the game, you know what I'm talking about. It completely threw me off. Like, did my demo save not transfer? But I guess it did. Um, So sometimes they're a little more straightforward and you figure it out, but that one kind of weirded me out a little bit. Gaming since the 80s. If I want to play something like Stellar Blade, I have the option like Devil May Cry and Bayonetta.
Now, are we talking
Yeah.
about DMC, the remake of Devil May Cry, where the main character was emo, or were we talking about Devil May Cry 5, the most recent one they put out? These are the questions we need answered, gaming since the 80s.
Here's the other crazy thing. I've got Bayonetta 1, 2, and 3 on Switch. I have yet to play any of them.
They're good games.
I've got all 3 physical copies. So it's got that female protagonist, and it looks kind of the same, but it's not. So, yeah, I can see that comparison. So, yeah. The other thing, that there's a Xbox game that's coming out that is going to be 30 frames a second, and I just lost the title.
Hellblade 2.
Hellblade 2. Okay, yeah.
It's going
And
to
I
be
was I was Stellar Blade, I feel, has got to be 60 frames per second. It feels good. Dragon's Dogma, I've also been kind of going in and out of that. That is 30 frames per second, and I feel that one desperately needs to be 60 frames per second. So I feel like I want to get your guys' input on this. Like, do you prefer a game to be really sharp, like 4K, or do you like the frame rate really high?
I still play shit from the 80s, dude. I don't care about that.
I mean, I'm too old for the. I don't care what it looks like as long as it's fun and it's something to do.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, and I get that. We're older gamers. Dragon's Dogma is uncapped. It's usually 30, but it's noticeable some areas. Like I heard it gets up to 40 in places. But I feel like Elden Ring, it feels like it's got a better frame rate than Dragon's Dogma. I don't have any kind of computer to actually figure it out for me. But man, for me, I just want to say, I think I am a big frame rate guy. If I love smooth frame rate. Eric, you were talking about Metroid Dread. Metroid Dread has a great constant, like 60 frames per second. Or it might be higher than that. Yeah. It feels super smooth.
Yeah.
And that game, Nintendo Switch can't do 4K. So it's like, that's perfect. Like, and it makes you feel good. That was the whole thing too. The VFX director explains in an interview that GamePro by saying the experience should feel more cinematic, similar to movies that run at 24 frames per second. That is such a cop out, because that's just, we can, movies are 24 frames per second. Yeah. Well, this isn't a movie. This is a video game. I'm controlling the character. I don't know what it is. Like, it just feels choppy for me when it's 24, 30 frames a second. Man, give me that 60. And that's kind of that next gen promise I feel like we were given as gamers when we got these new systems. And a lot of these developers are having a hard time delivering on that for whatever reason: time, money, manpower. And that is such a cop out that movies can run at 24 frames per second.
I'm going to challenge that. I'm going to challenge that just a second. Okay. I'm going to push back on that just a little bit because I saw this trailer for this video game that's coming out on the 16th. It's called Harold Halibut. But when I was watching the trailer, I didn't even realize it was a video game. I thought it was a stop motion animated film. And then halfway through the trailer, I'm like, wait a second, is this a game? And then at the end, it's like, yeah, it's a game. And especially in the stop motion style, right? You expect to see a lower frame rate. And so I would think in a game that's very stylized, like Harold Halibut seems to be, a lower frame rate could actually be good because it immerses you in the idea that you're playing this or that you're watching this stop motion movie that's actually a game. I don't know. That's I think
Yeah.
lower frame rates could be useful.
Every game's different.
Yeah.
Elicrian, how you doing, my friend? Did you hear about the study discovered some people can't distinguish differences in frame rate at all?
Huh.
I noticed dips myself, but it is stable 30 or 60 is fine to myself. Yeah, I think it's true. Probably different people perceive the frame rates, can't some people can't figure it out or distinguish it. So
I hadn't heard about that, but that makes sense. Some people are tone deaf, some people are colorblind, some people can't
right.
tell a difference above 30 frames a second.
Well, and I was going to say, I've got Elden Ring on the PS5 and my PC, and the PC version, even though it's uncapped, it rubber bands horribly. There's frame rate issues all over the place with it. But playing on the PS5, don't have any of the rubber band issues. The frame rate's lower than it is on the PC, but it actually functions better. It's smoother. It's easier to play on there.
But the thing with the PC though, and I get have a super high end PC and you can run all these games at the best possible frame rate. Like, I get that, and if you're willing to do that and you got the money for it, great. But for me, I feel like I want to play it on console, and why should I have to deal with the scraps of that? Like, it's not fair. So
Yeah.
Um,
Well, and they did promise
just get a
that
PC and you can do whatever you want. And like, no, come on, man.
I mean, they promised with the new systems that these were going to be,
Yes, they
able to
did.
push out at 60 frames per second games, and it's the same issue. PlayStation 5 Pro is going to be able to play that Hellblade game at 60 frames per second. Why can't the PS5 regular do it? Why do they have to bring out a new console for this?
Dathan, I know you played Starfield, but Eric, did you play Starfield at all?
No, huh?
So there was a huge outcry when that came out, locked at 30 frames per second. And I feel like that game also, like, it's doing a lot of computations in the background. Like, you can do some amazing stuff in Starfield, like the amount of items you can put in your spaceship, and it figures out where in the universe that you drop something, you come back to it like 3 days later, it's still there. Like, that's amazing. It's doing some crazy math programming with that. But the frame rate, they also said, I think Todd, what's his name, the director of Starfield, said that it's a design choice that we wanted 30 frames per second. No, if you guys could do 60 frames per second, I guarantee you would.
Sure.
And you guys got huge blowback for it. And now I feel like Xbox, they're doing the same thing with Hellblade. So they really need. I think Xbox really needs to go for that 60 frames per second, or at least give us the option. In Spider-Man 2, I believe it gives you a lot of different options on whether you want 4K performance mode or you want that the smoother I can't talk already. The smoother frame rate. So maybe just give us options. I don't know. So this is me rambling now, but
I think the best developers are able to give you the options.
Yeah,
right.
That's what I was going to say. You guys remember the story about Roller Coaster Tycoon, right? That guy wrote that game in some super low level assembly or something like that, if I'm remembering correctly. And so it would run smooth on even just crap computers of the time. But it's super hard to find developers who can think in that low a level. And so finding somebody to write a modern game, which require teams that are quite large, to all be at that level is just going to be really hard. Yeah.
Anyway, that is a super interesting topic, and it's going to be fascinating going forward. What games can run at a I would say 60 frames per second is a good, really feel good frame rate for me. Like if you could do 120, that's amazing. But all I'm asking is 60. Like somehow make it happen.
I'm just asking
Anyway.
for a good game. I don't care.
Yeah.
You got to have that first. Absolutely.
I will go plug in Turbo on the ColecoVision and play that. I don't care. Is it going to be fun? I hope so. Is it going to look great? No, not now. But I'll still go play it.
Sure.
Well, that's like the the constant complaining is Nintendo games is they're never up there with PS5 or Xbox in terms of like graphics and everything. It's like, but aesthetically, I could pick up any Nintendo game and it's going to look good.
And they get the sales. They know how to make money, and they don't have that. Yeah,
it's going to play well. It's going to look good. So I can sit there and play Princess Peach's Showtime. Well, and be like, this still looks like a good game.
An underrated aspect of Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, the frame rate is very good. It's not 4K because, again, Nintendo Switch can't do that. But the frame rate, it just feels smooth for whatever reason. And it doesn't take you out of the game when something's slower or something. I think if that game was chopped down to 30 or less than that, I think you would definitely feel it. Anyway, good topic, guys. I also wanted to touch on Tekken 8. I don't know if you guys played that at all. They're adding a whole bunch of microtransactions to that game.
Are they just skins or what are they doing?
Yeah, moves or what?
I think it's everything. So people are outraged about that.
Yeah.
Wasn't it one of the new characters?
Yep. So I think I'm going to be done with that game now. I guess I haven't touched it in about a month, but figuring out these guys.
It didn't launch with microtransactions. They're just adding it.
No. Yeah. No. I think you could buy a $100 version that came with some extra stuff, but now they're trying to get more money, even from the people that bought the $70 version. Like, no, thank you.
That smacks of just a cash grab. That's horrible.
Yeah. The Super Nintendo is my favorite console of all time, and I still play it. Great. I even play on the Atari 2600 from time to time. Yes.
Yeah, I got my Super Nintendo right there.
I see a GameCube in the other room. There. You have got a GameCube. You got a. Can I
Switch is the newest, but yeah, I've got all. Let
me go full screen on you. Wait, hold on. Where is that? Can I do that? No. There you are. There we are.
Okay,
yeah, you got a Super Nintendo. You got an N64.
Nintendo Super 64, GameCube, and my Switch is right there.
That's awesome.
There's Game Boy Advance games right there. And
is that a Wii?
No, I don't have a Wii yet.
What's that white thing on the very left?
This one?
Yeah, right there.
That's my Switch.
Oh, that's your Switch.
Is it OLED?
Okay.
Yeah, OLED Switch.
Okay, there we go. All right, cool. I can do that. Yeah.
There's no room for my Atari, although I have the Atari with like the case with the wooden sticker, the veneer stickers on it and everything. Maybe I can build another shelf and put it down below.
I've still got my Atari 2600.
Noticing our background that we have for the show, and I forgot to mention this last week. Somebody had a sealed copy of Space Quest 3 at the expo for $350. Yeah,
worth it.
Wow.
Forget it.
Totally worth it.
No, picture of it.
The game's so good.
For $350,
belongs in a museum.
Yep, $350.
You're out of your mind. They're going to be holding on to that forever.
Yeah. But I think the normal price tag on it, I think it said clearance. I think it was $7.99 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like a lot of those games back then.
Yeah, that's what they bought it for originally, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? And then you hold on to it for 30 years, and then you can get a $350 crash grab. That's insane. Did you have anything?
You can buy the collection on Steam right now for $20. So if you want to keep it in the the case and everything and still
Yeah.
be able to play
I
it.
think you can buy it even cheaper than that. I'm pretty sure I have a couple Space Quest games on Steam, and I didn't play $20 for them.
Mhm.
Wow.
But
Well, did you guys see the thing about the ESRB and FTC?
No,
So
yeah,
last year, the Entertainment Software Ratings Board had submitted a proposal for face recognition software for age. So if you wanted to play a game and you're under age for mature games, for example, you would have to submit a scan of your face, and then the software would be able to tell it whether or not if you're the right age, and based on that, it could deny you from being able to play a game. And the FTC came back and denied them. Said,
Yeah.
no, we're not going to do this. Their reasoning behind wanting to apply this software was to uh, go with COPA, the Children's Online Privacy Protection Act. And the FTC was like, no, we don't see this as that. We see this as another way to invade people's privacy and
Yeah, that's
do
what I was
other
thinking,
things.
yeah.
And so it's kind of interesting because as far as like rating boards goes, ESRB is probably one of the strictest out there, which also they give the most information. If you go to their website, type in a video game, you can actually go through and read every reason why that game's rated the way it is. Whereas if you go to like the MPAA's website for movies, they don't give you anything beyond descriptors like, oh, this movie's R-rated for language.
Mhm.
Well, what language? English? Japanese? Is it R-rated because they're speaking Spanish? Like
Right.
what? There's no real descriptors beyond that for movies, whereas software.
as a parent, I do really appreciate the ESRB
Mhm.
ratings because I can lock down anything on Xbox where my son plays. I can
Mhm.
lock down anything that I don't want him to play ratings wise. He doesn't have access to it. He doesn't even see it. And he mainly plays Roblox. I even went into that game and you can age lock kind of stuff too. So it's like a double thing he can't see. But I think for the most part, as an adult, I'm happy with what they do. The face scanning thing is kind of crazy, and it reminds me of Xbox putting Xbox Connect, and people were freaking out about having the webcam on them all the time,
Mhm.
and that was an invasion. Dude,
Well,
gaming from the 80s is you're the man tonight. I bought the Last Blade 1 and 2 for around about $400 each. Holy moly, it was worth it because several other sites they wanted $750 each for those games. It's gonna get out of hand crazy. So if a game's if a game has that nostalgia heart, it really draws you in from your back from the childhood. I get it, but
Mhm.
man, it gets super spendy.
Mhm.
Holy moly!
well, and the one thing I've always appreciated about the ESRB is it really is geared towards parents being able to, you know, read up on this stuff and understand what's in games. So you give a lot of control to the parents on whether or not they can properly parent. This facial recognition tool that they were wanting to do seems like they were wanting to take away a lot of control from
Yeah,
parents,
yeah.
which I don't agree with in any way.
That was my kind
Um,
of my knee-jerk reaction when you were talking about it. Like, what about just allowing parents to determine what's right for their own kids? What about that?
Yeah,
and back in the day when I worked at Hollywood Video and we had the N64 games for
Mhm.
rent, we had that Conker's Bad Fur Day.
Yeah,
I, it
great
was
game.
M-rated game. It was fun, but if you actually read the back of it and everything, it was like sexual
Sure.
content
Yeah, yeah,
and all this stuff. And the amount of parents that would come in, throw it at us, and just be like, "I can't believe you allow
yeah.
kids to rent this game." And it's like, we don't. They have to have a parent come in with them.
Right.
So obviously, you came in, rented the game with your kid, let them play it because they talked you into it.
Mhm.
And then you're like, oh, this is not what I thought it was going to be. It was the same thing with when Pirates of the Caribbean came out. They had at Hollywood Video a movie called Pirates Triple X.
Oh no.
People were coming in renting it thinking it was Pirates of the Caribbean.
Right.
And then they came back and were throwing at us like, how dare you allow me to rent this porn?
This isn't Pirates 30? Like, I thought this was the sequel.
David looks like he's looking it up right now. Oh,
That's
sorry.
exactly what I'm doing. Sure.
Hand check.
But it was literally Hollywood Video had gotten the rights to this movie and they'd removed all the porn scenes from it. And it was a terrible movie to begin with. But it's like, just randomly people are like, I got to get naked right now. And then
people
it cuts to afterwards and it's like, that wasn't Pirates of the Caribbean. That guy doesn't look like Johnny Depp. What is this?
Yeah.
But yeah, the amount of parents that just got outraged because they don't want to take the time to read what it is they're renting or picking up or buying or whatever the case may be. I think there still needs to be parent interaction. They need to know what's going on with the kids. And so when you do have these parents who just don't care enough to actually be involved, and then they get outraged because they finally look up for a second like, oh, that's not what I thought it was. So I have to blame somebody else because I don't want to take responsibility for what I chose to do or not do.
Oh, and I just want to say, check this out. Like, I think Nintendo Switch has a good parental app too, but Xbox has a super nice app because it gives you a weekly report on your child sent email to you. And you can there's also an app where you can set time limits on games. Like, I don't want him to play today. I want to add time, blah, blah, blah. But it'll give you a report at the end of the week, exactly what games he was playing and how long. And a lot of times we'll go into games like, yeah, oh man, I played that game for 30 hours. I played this game for 30 hours. You want to know what the real reason why they're tracking how much time people play in the games. And some of it is to do with like what games people are playing. They want that data. But the real main reason is they want parental controls. It's super important when you're a parent. Like, you want to know how long your kid has been playing a game.
Yeah.
And been playing for the week. So I didn't even think of that maybe before I had kids. Now that I do, that's like, whoa, yeah. He played that for 20 hours this week. What? He played more games than I did. All right. So I wanted to get into April Fools.
Did you see the Nintendo one?
That was my favorite.
Yeah, the Virtual Boy
Virtual Boy Pro.
Well, that was an IGN one, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm trying to block IGN, you guys.
Yeah, I know that you're not into it since they.
I heard about it.
I appreciate the fact they were taking a shot at Apple Vision Pro with that one, showing the lady in the car driving with the Switch headset.
Yeah. Do I still have you guys? Yeah. All right. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's just Chris.
The big one that made me really frustrated, and like on Monday, it was April Fool's. Like, I shouldn't be checking my Twitter. I shouldn't be checking the news, but I'm gonna do it anyway. And the one that really got me thinking, like my kid is really into Ghostbusters, right? And like, I know there's a new TT Games, the company Warner Brothers that makes like the Lego games. Like, you know what my son would go crazy for is a Lego Ghostbusters video game. And Ghostbusters News on Twitter put out that Lego Ghostbusters, the video game, has been announced by Warner Brothers Games and Sony Interactive Entertainment, and went to this whole thing, like a fake article about it. And I was like, oh my God, my son is going to love this. And I saved it. I retweeted it. And then like I checked on it a little later, like, oh, it's completely fake.
Yeah, that's mean.
Son
That's just
of
mean.
a gun. You guys, I would have totally bought that game. So maybe, I don't know. I know they're working on some Lego game right now, but man, I would love for them to do a Ghostbusters game with the new movies in it. I know that there was a game called Lego Dimensions where you could play some parts of the Ghostbusters first movie, and that game's been delisted. So even more reason to come out with a new version of it. But
Mhm.
anyway, that was the main one that kind of pissed me off.
Yeah.
There was a lot of this the funny stuff I'm totally good with. The on the background of this thumbnail, Cyberpunk 2077. They had a thing where they're going to release a version on PC that comes with 97,000 floppy disks. Those 3.5 floppy disks. Like, whoa! Like, does it really take 97,000? Like, yeah, you'll be installing that for a long time. That's why we go digital, I guess, now, guys. Like, you don't need that many floppy disks. And then what was the other good ones? I think there was some Pokemon crap. Oh, there was a Sega one. We're excited to introduce the next innovation in gaming: cartridge loadable content. Maybe I can share my screen here.
Mhm.
Share screen. You guys see that?
Oh, I did see that.
That's like a thing you add on, add on, add on.
Mhm. That's
That
great.
was like that was the 32X that came
Yeah,
out.
right. But it's like,
And it was like Sonic Spinball, and then you could add an extra character, which is another cartridge, and then it was, I think, 7 or 8, things high or something like that. So that's pretty close.
you never went that high.
It was quite the tower.
So yeah, whenever, instead of getting a normal DLC, you just get a cartridge every time. They have to send it to you, or you have to go buy it. I guess I don't know how that would work, but there we go. Oh, come on, now my thing's
So,
tripping on me.
Gaming Since the 80s asked a question about if Conker's Bad Fur Day could be a game, make a game like that. It sounds like maybe today.
Mhm.
And I don't see why not. I mean, some of the games that are coming out now are, the new Mortal Kombat is absolutely just, horrific. Some of the fatalities and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I think maybe meaning, so like the crude content, I don't see why it wouldn't. I mean, limited run games re-released Night Trap 3-4 years ago for PS4, so that was pretty much around the same thing. So I don't see why not.
Well, and you can put anything you want. I feel like on PC.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I think it goes down to console.
Mm-hmm.
And I think if they did a Conker's Bad Fur Day, people would buy it for sure. So,
Mm-hmm.
What's the most like risque Switch game though? I can't think of anything.
Oh, I've got it.
Oh, do you? It's right there. Not only does he have it, he
Well,
has it
it's
in
like
arm's reach.
I was like, I have a couple games like I don't put out in my.
Is it Pirates of the Caribbean?
No, I don't have that one. That is a super risky one. But I've got this one. I don't know why I got it. Maybe I do know why I got it. But
there's a couple of good reasons, I think.
it's it's a game where it says an arcade shooter full of cute girls and happy endings. These girls are like zombies, and you got to try to they try to find true love in one day. Over 70 characters. It gets really. This is only in Japan. This is
sure.
I'm pretty sure this is a Japanese only game. It's slated mature language, sexual themes language. But there's a you're talking about there. I know what you're talking about. There's a pirate game where you can manipulate uh, things in that game. That might be the worst on Nintendo Switch. It's amazing what there's some bad stuff on Nintendo Switch. They don't put it out in America, I don't think, but
Yeah.
it's the Nintendo Switch is region locked is not region locked is what I was trying to say. And
Yeah, I was going to ask.
Yeah.
Like, if you bought the Japanese version, would it even work? But that's cool that it's not locked.
Right. And I think I want to say the PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5 stuff isn't locked either. But anyway. And Chris, did you freeze?
Is he coming back? I haven't seen him.
I think he's been frozen for the last 10 minutes.
Yeah. Maybe he'll come back. Got kicked out. I started talking about my naughty Switch game. He had to go look it up. Oh, there he is. There he is.
Yeah,
I was like, what are you holding right there?
No, this entire time my screen has been fine. Yeah, no, I was just told by my brother that I've been frozen.
You've been frozen. Sorry, buddy.
So, I'm sitting over here talking, and I'm like, they're just kind of talking over me. They're not listening. I don't know what's going on. I was gonna say that Conker's Bad Fur Day. I think the problem with today, if it was made, is the subtle jokes and everything, like the sarcasm and satire that's used throughout the game would be completely like thrown out the window, because that seems to be the case nowadays. As far as writing goes, we don't get movies like Airplane 2, like good parodies anymore. And so Conker's Bad Fur Day would probably be, there'd be a lot of sexual themes and things going on. It'd probably take the crude to a next level, but it wouldn't do it in such a way that it actually is entertaining. So, and I think that's the real problem nowadays, is people don't know how to do satire as well.
It feels like to me, I'm going to keep this brief.
This sounds like a good Eric topic.
I'm going to keep it brief. It feels like, to me, reality is almost its own satire. It's satirizing itself these days. So what could you possibly put out, to make fun of it, that somebody's not going to be like, oh no, I really genuinely believe that, or that's my life, or whatever, So I feel like we're in this weird Twilight Zone era where everything, you can't make a satire of stuff anymore, because there's somebody who genuinely believes the thing that you would use to make the joke. So you can't make the joke anymore.
Well, you swing it back, now instead of it being like the extreme of like all the gratuitous sex and violence and language, you make it so clean cut that everybody's like, wow, this is just brilliant.
Right. Yeah. Maybe that's what you'd have to do.
It really would. It would be interesting to have like a sequel to Conker's Bad Fur Day put out. But who knows if they'd be able to do something like that in this day and age.
Hey, at least I got my
BMX 30. Yeah, that's a great one. That's a good one.
Yeah,
BMX 30.
Exactly. When are they going to come out with 31? Jeez,
it's been a long
while.
time. Yeah.
What's going on?
We're trying to get
what studio was that? Oh, it's Acclaim. Is Acclaim still making stuff?
No, I
don't think so.
I think Acclaim was bought out by EA.
Oh, EA, you bastards. Get that game going again.
Yeah, when did Acclaim disappear?
Yeah, Jason, do you not know about BMX XXX? It's probably it might be. Well, I also have the Leisure Suit Larry game on the original Xbox too. That one's pretty.
Wasn't there
tongue in cheek?
The guy game on Xbox, wasn't that another one too?
Oh yeah, I didn't have that one. I also had Playboy the Mansion
Mhm.
on original Xbox, and you were like the Hugh Hefner. And that might be a game you can't put out anymore. Well, there's no he died, but like yeah, after he came out, what all the shady stuff he was doing too. Like yeah. Yeah, it's just fun to have. Like I'm not playing these. Maybe I am. No, I'm not. I'm not. I'm not. I don't even have an original Xbox hooked up. So, but yeah, Jason, you need to check out that game. There's a reason I got it.
No, Acclaim filed bankruptcy back in 2004.
Oh, that is too
What-
bad.
What was their last game? Their last game they put out?
Their last game. Let's
Because
see.
they did some of the Mortal Kombat series too.
Well, they
if I
ported
remember.
the Midway stuff. Yeah.
Let's see.
Acclaim Entertainment.
Manhunt 3 says gaming since the 80s, so take his word for it.
He seems to know what's up.
Yeah.
Oh, did I miss a chat? Oh, yeah, there we
It's
go.
unfortunate. The last official game they released was a game published in Europe called Creed. That was the last very official game that they had.
I'm looking at their Wikipedia right now. They have whoever put the Wikipedia together. It is not very well
No, this is a
put
terrible
together.
game.
Someone needs to redo this so like we can actually read it at a glance.
Did you see that the who was it? One of the heads at Xbox announced that they are, or confirmed that they are working on a Gears of War 6.
Oh yes, I did see that, which is good. I think who is the company is that makes those games?
Epic.
No,
It's not Epic. I thought it was Epic.
If I hear it, I'll know it when I hear it. But they are really good at the new Unreal Engine 5.
Yeah, that's Epic Games. Developed and managed by Coalition.
The Coalition. That's them.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, was it Epic that was bought by? No, Gearbox. Gearbox was the one that was bought by Take-Two. So the Borderlands franchise and everything is now owned by the same people who own Rockstar.
I totally see them announcing Gears of War 6 at the July. Is it June or July Xbox showcase?
Yeah.
I was hoping they would have done it last year, but they didn't. Gears of War 5 was a pretty fun game. I bought it for like $3, and
yeah, it ended up I played it on Game Pass, and then I think Christmas sale had it for like $5 or $6 at Best Buy.
yeah, they really had some good deep discounts. Fun game. But I think when they do Gears of War 6, they need to go balls out. Like I want a really good story. The visuals better look amazing. The original Gears of War 1 and 2 were so good on the 360 playing multiplayer. I think Chris, I played that with you multiplayer, didn't we?
Yep.
Yeah, so good.
And they had some of the best trailers.
Yeah.
Mad World, when they announced the first Gears of War, it was that was such a well done trailer.
Who is the creator? Scott Blazinski?
Yeah.
Cliff.
He was
Cliff.
Yeah, Cliffy B or
Cliffy B.
He was super cool.
I don't think he's doing it. I think he was done after the last one, I thought.
Well, they need to recruit him back.
I could be wrong.
I remember like hearing one of his first first pitches about the game, like, yeah, you get to go in, you get to take your chainsaw, you get to rip this guy's head off, and then you go to turn around and use your machine gun, like bam, bam, bam. Like, oh dang, I want that game. Exactly, Jason. Oh, okay. There's a big one I missed. Take-Two Interactive has acquired video game developer Gearbox, the maker of Borderlands, from Embracer Group. Yeah, oh man, I hate Embracer Group, dude. Leakrian, to be as accurate as possible, Epic Games made the original Gears trilogy. Then Black Tusk took over after Microsoft bought the series from Epic. Black Tusk was renamed the Coalition during Gears 4. Thank you, sir.
So did Cliff Bleszinski have anything to do with the last Gears games, though?
I don't think he did. I think
No,
he retired.
He retired in 2014.
He retired when he was like 25. Must be amazing. I don't know if he was 25, but it seems like he was. Like, he's living the dream.
Yeah, I don't.
You're gonna look that up too. Malik Rand, you gonna look that up? Give him a second. Anyway, yeah, I will. I can't wait if they announce that game. That will be amazing. So,
is the Xbox Developers Conference or whatever, is that confirmed for June? Or is
he says, wait, he says I don't look things up. Oh, you just know it from memory, dude. You're amazing. I'm sorry.
The Xbox Showcase.
They haven't announced it yet. I don't think.
Oh, okay.
It's usually around that E3 window, and they usually do it on a Sunday.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure after Gears 3, he did a few flips, then retired. Yeah, he sold his stock and bought a house in Malibu and flop. Yeah, we got you.
June 9th is what they're saying is the estimated date for the showcase.
Okay, gaming since the 80s. Cliffy B made Lawbreakers. It failed, and he blamed Overwatch for Lawbreakers because it didn't do well. Yeah. It's all Overwatch, and it's all these. Everything's these Fortnite. Yeah, all these stupid games. That's the reason. I agree.
Yep.
Anyway, it's been an hour, guys. Seems like I'm getting the chat rolling now. You guys like wake up at like on the East Coast at like 1 a.m. You get your like second coffee or third coffee and
do a line, have a couple bumps, and jump on.
What are you guys doing over there? I would think like the chat would be more active at the beginning of the show and not the end, but it's all good. I appreciate you guys.
Gaming since the 80s, he likes to party like it's the 80s. You know what I'm saying? So
he's not messing around.
He knows what he's doing.
He's our friend with a nasal problem.
Too.
I wanted to say,
hey.
I wanted to say,
is it a family channel? I guess it is.
I made a swear earlier.
No, it's not, because you're talking about Pirates of the Caribbean 30,
BMX 30,
all this other stuff that shouldn't be talked about, and here we are.
My son's like gonna watch this stream in a couple weeks. Like, Daddy, what is this?
I mean, I guess we could start educating people on the birds and the bees. We do seem to be the proper authorities on this kind of situation.
If I was your son, Chris, I would not want to hear about the birds and the bees from you. I'm sorry.
Well, that's a swallow right there, and
it's a mason bee.
Okay.
I wanted to mention Thief, the 2014 remake of the original Thief trilogy, is free on epicgames.com. And I never played the 2014 version. I heard not great things, but I heard for free it's probably worth playing around with it. So
yeah, they also had
free is always good.
Oh, what was the other one that they put up for free? Outer Worlds.
Outer
Space-
Worlds, Spacer's Choice, Thief, and Chivalry 2 Black Desert. That's
Yeah.
what I'm looking at.
Yeah.
Amazon Prime Gaming also puts up some good free games too. I see they have a whole list that just came out.
It's the only reason I get these things is so I can get the free games on Epic, and Amazon games. Free is such a good price for things
Mhm.
in this day and age.
Damn inflation.
And I heard one of the reasons that Thief got tanked when it first came out was a bunch of release bugs that were now long been fixed. So maybe it's okay. Maybe it's good. I'll let you know.
Check it out.
Oh, side note, Dune 3 is in early production.
Oh,
Did
yeah, I
you guys hear
heard.
that?
I did see that. Denis Villeneuve, you
Yeah.
are the man. I guess that movie has made like over 600 million worldwide or something.
Still haven't
So-
seen it yet. I watched Godzilla Kong on Friday.
How's
last
that?
week.
Chris was
It was
saying
good.
he watched it too.
It was good. I liked it.
Cool.
Enjoyed
It has the
watching
least amount of screen time for Godzilla, though,
That's
What?
true.
at 8
I
minutes.
am outraged.
Sure.
It was very Kong driven.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was an interesting choice to kind of build the character of Kong. The movie was entertaining. It didn't feel like it was poorly paced. Action was great in it. Like all the way around, I thought this was one of the better kind of non-Japanese Godzilla Kong movies that they've put out in recent years.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm interested to see where they go from here. I'm hoping they bring in aliens. Let's leave the Hollow Earth and kind of bring in the aliens in the next one.
No, they need like who's the next character they bring on? I was thinking of like Jason but no, it'd be like some kind of monster.
Yeah.
I mean, did you guys ever see the Monarch, the Apple TV show?
No.
Because they introduced a new monster in that show that was like an ice. I can kind of compare it to like the ice dragons in Game of Thrones. It's kind of like, I don't know too much about the multiverse of Godzilla and all that stuff, but they introduced a new variation of a character in there, and so I don't know if they're going to do a season 2 or they introduce a new monster in there and then they spring that into the new Godzilla Kong universe going from there. So it's hard to say. But if you haven't seen Monarch is fantastic, by the way. It's really good.
Yeah, it's
Eric-
John
Okay.
Goodman, isn't it?
Yeah,
Oh, nice.
just for the first maybe 2 minutes of the show, like episode 1, 2 minutes in, John Goodman, and then it's flashback, flash forward, back and forth.
Cool. Erica, are you caught up on X-Men 97? People love to hear your takes on X-Men.
I haven't started watching it yet.
What?
And the
Oh
last
my
episode-
god.
last
I know.
episode, fantastic.
I'm looking forward to it. I will. I'll get on it. Like I said, this party's been taking a lot of time. So next week I'll
Okay.
catch up.
All right. People love your takes on X-Men for whatever reason. All right. All right. I guess I'll leave it at that. Thank you for watching, guys. Chris, do you have any final thoughts tonight? Where are you? You're like in the woods somewhere? Like, what the?
I like to, live on the edge. So I'm up here on the cliff overlooking the valley, down below.
Where the air is
Did you
clear.
see that there was a guy that, I know this is random, but there was a guy that was just climbing Mount St. Helens and he died. He went into the rim and like he thought he was going on a rock face and it was like all ice and went all the way down to the bottom, died.
Ugh.
I admire like mountain climbers and people that swim in the oceans like deep down, but like there's places man is not supposed to go.
I'm more of an
And-
indoor enthusiast,
yeah, no, I'll watch the IMAX documentary or whatever, but man, that's not for me. And hopefully that it sounds like that guy had a good life. But holy moly, we were not meant to be at the top of these mountains. I don't
Helldivers 2.
know.
You guys need to give that a chance. Give it a chance. Play
Oh
that one.
yeah. We need to.
It's definitely one of the better live service games out there right now. There are a lot of updates they've put out recently to kind of fix characters, and the community kind of believes their fixes are horizontal instead of
Thank you, Jason.
vertical, like most things where they kind of go up and down. These ones just go side to side. So it's definitely one of the better ones out there to play. And maybe one of these days I'll get a group together and we can play, so that way I don't end up with some random team that just decides to drop bombs on me every time I respawn. You know.
Eric, do you have any final thoughts for tonight, sir?
Final thoughts. Hug your loved ones. You don't know how much time you have with them.
That's true. Absolutely. Dathan.
Final thoughts. Well, since I got to follow up with what Eric said.
Sorry.
Every day's a gift.
That's good. That's right.
That's why they call it the present.
That's right.
It's true. I thought you might mention this, but you mentioned it last week. On next Sunday, we are all going to meet up at the arcade. Next level.
Yep,
Yeah.
next level pinball. A week from this Sunday, not this Sunday, but a week from this Sunday.
Yep.
Yes,
it's on my calendar.
I get off work at 1:00, so I'm gonna pick Chris up and we'll drive up there and we'll meet you guys up there. Should be a blast. If there's anyone in the community that's in around the Portland area, head over, and if you guys want to meet us, come on down. It is the biggest arcade on the West Coast apparently now. So
April 14th.
They just expanded, and they've got, I think, 600 machines. I think it's pretty even split, 300 of arcade and 300 of pinball. I think it's $22 to get in. You can stay all day. They have food trucks out in the parking lot. I think they have 3 or 4 of them, and you can take in food inside. But it's a good time.
Looking forward to it.
I'm gonna try. We'll see what my cell service is like, but I might try to go live on in that afternoon, maybe around 3:00 or something. Is what I was thinking. But maybe the cell phone. So I can't talk this late. Maybe the cell phone service won't be that good inside. I don't remember. So maybe we could do it outside too. But I want to take some pictures of you guys too, so I can make some good thumbnails in the future. I'm sure Chris will give me some weird ones, like that one I have you sitting in a toy dump truck. I don't know how I kept that one.
I don't remember where that was from.
It was at Autzen Stadium.
I know that, but I just don't remember what it was for.
Well, we walked by. It was at a Duck game, and we just saw there was a toy truck there. Like, I don't know, like, hey Chris, you want to try sitting in that? Like, yeah, sure. So, and Dathan, I want, maybe you can make a short or show me how to upload your scores to the Stern Pinball app and connect that. I think.
That's pretty easy. One thing they do have there is before we go, they have TVs. They have TV monitors above all the pinball machines, and you can. I think they swap it. They change them out every month, and so you can kind of compare your scores to how the community is doing, how everyone else is playing. But it's super easy to do.
You can see
and
how well you suck.
The reception there is pretty good because I was able to log on to the app and it stayed on and it was I didn't have any issues, so we shouldn't have any problems.
Great, it'll be awesome.
But are you on AT&T, T-Mobile, or Verizon?
I'm on Verizon.
Okay.
I'm on Verizon too.
So am I. Except when you go up to Seattle to that MLB game, and then, you need that T-Mobile.
No freaking kidding. T-Mobile.
Oh, man, that was terrible.
They put on a blocker for those other companies.
It's like they just busted out an EMP burst for anybody that was not on T-Mobile. It was so bad.
What
EMP
if you
incoming.
have an actual emergency? I guess you can call 911, but I don't know. Whatever.
Just yell at that point because it was. Yeah, I had nothing.
Anyway, guys, it's been a great show tonight. I appreciate all you. We still got 2 people on Twitter or X. We got 3 people on YouTube, and someone's watching on Twitch. So thank you, sir or ma'am. I appreciate you. And again, give this video a like. We appreciate it. And if you're not subscribed to any of these channels, please feel free to do so. And yeah, go check out Asa Jack's Media Grounds too on YouTube. You still got some great content on there. Jason, thank you for staying the whole show, my friend. Hope you all enjoy your weekend. I'm gonna go nurse the stupid headache. I'll try to catch the next one. Hope you feel better soon, sir.
Yeah.
And with that, peace out, guys. Thanks so much.